Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you get to spend Thanksgiving with whoever you would like. Something, something I recommend doing if you can is maybe just finding 5 or 10 minutes where you can go get quiet and really think about, being thankful and to listen to Gary Vee talk about, we're kind of like one in a trillion just to be here, just to exist as humans, as who we are today, all the people around us who's made us who we are. Just take a little bit of time, step away, take a walk, and just be thankful. That would be, just get quiet and chill and just think about that. So, something I recommend, something I'll be doing probably here actually pretty soon after this video is over. But as always, we got to do our daily financial news. I told you over 100 days ago, I think, that I was going to give a shot at doing these financial news, again, inspired by Gary Vee and actually Nipsey Hussle. When they had a conversation a year or so ago about maybe doing music, every day for a year. I'm like, you know what? Maybe we can do something like that on YouTube with financial news. So here we go. A couple of topics, kind of questions for you. First, who's going Black Friday shopping, right? Who's going to get up, at whatever it is, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever they are these days, and actually go out there and shop, right? Go and get the deals and get the TVs or whatever else people are selling for, doorbusters and the like. I haven't been to a Black Friday ever, at least as a shopper. I worked Black Fridays at Sears and Roebuck, either in hardware, right, selling Craftsman tools, or selling Kenmore washers and dryers back in the day. So I was one of those employees that was going into the retail, but I don't remember starting that early. I want to say we started at 7 on Black Friday, but in the end, just curious who's going to go out and go shopping, who's going to, get all their Christmas shopping done in a day. Anybody got all their Christmas shopping done already? I know my mom's probably been done since the summer. She thinks Christmas shopping's a year-long thing, and she likes to be done by July, so good for her. Another question I have for you is, I can't believe all these stores that are actually open on Thanksgiving, call it early evening, right? There's stores opening at 3 and 4 o'clock today. Who's okay with that? When did Thanksgiving become a day of work? I'm not okay with that. Anybody doing that? Anybody starting the shopping today instead of tomorrow? And then a little bit of good news, at least to put a smile on my face, is it looks like Toys R Us has their first store opened. Uh, I hope Twin Peaks is open. Oh, how you doing, man? What is it? Danny is the Beast, I think that said. How you doing this morning? So it looks like Toys R Us has its first store open. It's in Paramus. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. New Jersey. I don't know. Toys R Us, brick and mortar stores, all of that. Yeah, I won't go to a store either, man. No freaking way. Um, it's one of those brick and mortar stores that I remember as a youth. I actually remember walking to them. There was one probably a mile and a half away. It felt like 10 miles when you're like 8 or 9 years old. But to see a Toys R Us back, and they're doing it a little different, right? Reading the article, it looks like they're stocking the stores with about 1,500 stores, but they empower shoppers to use online apps that actually represents up to 15,000 items that they can get from other warehouses and distributors in. So again, they're kind of doing it different. Looks like their next store is going to be in Texas. They're actually owned by a new company because they went through bankruptcy over a year ago, called True Kids, Trukids. So looks like Toys R Us is making a give back, and Thanksgiving, who cares? Wow, ouch, that's harsh. So in the end, it's fun to see that come back. They're obviously, bringing it back for holidays. It's their time of year. Obviously Amazon and Walmart and all these other people kind of ate their lunch when they didn't advance in technology. But that's interesting. Really, the big news of the day, kind of what I told you would happen on Monday or Sunday. I forget when we talked about it. There would be some kind of news event that would be shoved into the week, hoping that the 4-day shutdown would kind of neutralize the impact. And wouldn't you know it, we signed the Hong Kong kind of support bill, right? It was passed by the House, passed by Congress, and then signed by the executive branch yesterday, late in the day after the stock market's closed, kind of giving it maximum window to kind of be, go through the press over the next 4 days. So it's going to be interesting, and it's going to see what happens next, right? Anytime you punch, a bully, if you will, they are likely to punch back, assuming you don't knock them out. And I have no doubt in the next 48 to 72 hours that, um, China is going to come back and say and or do something. And we got to be ready for it, right? Freedom's not free. And um, if we didn't learn that, it is interesting. So um, I think, they're going to do something. Now it could just be political rhetoric in a newspaper or through their managed media. They could be putting something out saying, the U.S. is doesn't understand. The U.S. is has sinister intentions. They could come out and say anything they would like, and it's going to be interesting. That could be on one end. On the other end, they could come in and they could take the protesters by force, right? As I said months ago now, when this first came around, I fear that this could end up in another Tiananmen Square, where thousands of people lost their lives, and that would be a shame. So it is, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here, because this is not over. I actually think Hong Kong, on the extremes, could be a significant impact in the world right now. I I don't think it goes this way, but you can play the chessboard, right? You can play the pieces where the Hong Kong protesters, I don't know, get more aggressive, grow in numbers, do whatever they do. That then takes, on a bigger form and shuts down other parts of the Hong Kong economy, which is not good for Hong Kong itself. That then forces China, under their one country, two policies, to come in with force. That then leads to the loss of life, and probably significant life. That then tables the trade war altogether, or it tables the trade agreement, excuse me, altogether. Just shuts it down once life is lost in great numbers. I would suspect Europe would have a similar reaction to the loss of significant life, and we would be back at stage zero. Now, I don't think that I don't think it goes this way, but more importantly, I hope it doesn't go this way. Um, these parties need to come together, figure out what's going on, and then happy Thanksgiving, Justin, and just get the economy back to working. Hong Kong was a bastion of economic power. I've been there. It's an amazing place, and I don't understand the subtle details that's going on that has caused this rift. Um, it would probably take me hours to figure it all out. I just know that this thing has the potential to blow up and get a lot worse and really hurt everyone. I don't think anybody wins. Um, if there's a big loss of life in any city. So that will be interesting. Next up, really what we have heading into next year, because again, if you followed this channel for any length of time, I've actually said I don't see a recession next year. And we could actually have, solid worldwide growth if three things happen. First and foremost, we got to resolve this trade tensions. It's good for no one. China's hurting, the U.S. is hurting, Europe's hurting. Not only governments are hurting, but we, the people, individuals, are hurting. Right? China's suffer. People are having higher food prices, which is a necessity, which is not good. The U.S. consumer is paying more for stuff. It's not helping anyone, and we've got to get through this. Really, there's trade war tensions all over the world, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But again, step one, resolve all these trade tensions and kind of get back to a level set where we are not just nationalistic. We are working as a worldwide, kind of, with agreements going on. Number two, Europe's got to step up, and more specifically, Germany. Right? Germany's been reluctant to implement fiscal stimulus. They narrowly escaped a full-on recession, which is 2 quarters of negative growth. They eked out a 0.1% growth here about a month ago. So Germany's got to step on the gas. It's got to prime the pump a little bit and see what is going on, and then that will hopefully help Europe, all of Europe, right? If the big boy invests, it should pull the rest of the countries up and hopefully have them invest as well, and going from there. And then finally, the U.S., we should really tackle this infrastructure plan. I don't know about you, but if the U.S. really invests in infrastructure, right, meaning roads and bridges and all this stuff that are falling apart, that's millions, if not billions of dollars in revenue that gets in, or money that gets into our system. And then that brings on jobs. It brings on a stronger economy. Those jobs mean more houses and more cars. And it's just, it pulls us out of this, right? I don't know where you live, but at least where I live, the freeways are terrible. The bridges are not great. Our infrastructure around us is deteriorating, and it's time to invest. So, if we did that, other countries also invested in infrastructure that really hasn't been invested big time since the end of World War II, obviously because a lot of it was bombed out. We could pull out of this, and the entire global economy could be doing well. So, those are the three things I think that could happen in 2020 going forward. So I don't believe in the recession talk that people are trying to scare folks for. I've talked about it on this channel a bunch when I was fearful of that. Wow, infrastructure is not a big deal, honestly. Okay, well, maybe the roads are okay where you are, I guess. But there's billions of dollars that could be spent on infrastructure, in my opinion. So that's what I see going on. In the end, it's Thanksgiving. Be thankful for what you have. You're here. Try to get quiet. Figure out who you're thankful for. Enjoy the long weekend if you have one. It's 4 days for most of you. And again, Black Friday. Who's going shopping? All right, everybody. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. Thanks.